by saying the last time you felt an emotion. So today, I got a tougher one for you. So I'm gonna let you sit in with it for a second if you need to. The last time you felt ashamed.
So I think it was either a couple weeks ago or a month ago, but I was in Walmart, grabbing my stuff. I was a little tipsy. I wasn't drunk.
You was shopping drunk? Okay. Okay.
I wasn't drunk. I was way below the alcohol level.
Yeah.
FBI, if you're watching. But I was a little buzzed from a happy hour after work.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I was backing out and I was only looking to my right. I didn't look to my left because when you back out, you gotta do this little, especially in Walmart, because their parking lot is just jacked up.
Hey.
So I just went like right, and I didn't see the man, and I hit him right like in his like kind of like the front of the car.
Yeah.
And I broke my whole light, like my backlight, and pieces all on the floor. I'm so in shock. I'm still like, my car is still in his car, and I'm just looking back like, dang. And he's like, so you ain't gonna move? And I'm like, oh yeah. So I drive up a little bit, to get off his car, and then I get out, and it's a old black dude. And he was like, dang, you messed up. I just got this car, man. You messed up my paint, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, my fault. And then he was like, you know what, since you a brother, just throw me like $20, and then we just set it straight. And I was
only $20?
Yeah, but here's the thing. I wasn't trying to pay him anything.
Oh, you're foul. You're foul.
I was like, he was like, I ain't trying to get the police involved. I was like, well, we can just exchange information. We can do it that way. Cause I ain't trying to pay you. And then he was like, so you gonna be like that? And then he kind of like drove off a little bit, like about to park. And then at that moment, I felt a little ashamed because I was like, man, he was trying to like help me out because he saw like I was a brother.
Yeah.
I was like, I shouldn't be cheap. I should just like do it that way. Because my plan was to get the insurance and then tell them that he hit me. Try to finesse it that way. But then I was like, you know what? I felt kind of bad, like so ashamed. So I like went up to him. I was like, you know what? That's fine. And I put up the 20 that I had in my pocket that I could have just did it the first time.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, appreciate it. And he went on a long 30-minute story. We was in the parking lot for like 30 minutes chopping it up. But yeah, that was probably the last time I was ashamed.
Man, this is all in Richfield?
Yeah, like Bloomington area, Richfield. Yeah.
Man, you see, and for me, this is why I don't even touch Walmart. So, long short story. I have been boycotting Walmart. I don't go to Walmart. I refuse to go to Walmart.
I'm trying. It's hard though.
No, it's instantly like if I got to go to one, it's got to be a Target. When we were in St. Cloud, the Walmart up there, how like they have like the little the mobile pickup little spots.
Yeah.
So I just needed to get a case of water. I think we were having some event or whatever. I just needed to buy a case of water. So I was like, all right, bet I'm gonna park in this little spot, run in there, get the case of water and dip. Why did, as soon as I get out the car, like two of their associates come running out. They're like, no, you can't park here. You can't. I was like, and like I had my headphones in. And I tried to play like I couldn't hear them, but I could hear them. And I was like, I'm about to just run in here and get around anyway. Yo, why like 10 of their employees like come like migrate over to like the water section and tell me I had to move my car? But I was just like, yo, like I'm literally buying this. I'm about to be out in 2 minutes. It was like, well, we're calling to tow your car right now. And like they had, like the way that they came at me, it made me feel like I was like like I was an actual criminal. Like I was like like I was on America's Most Wanted or something. G. And then like, yeah, it was crazy. And then I was like, and I literally was telling, I was like, so I can't just like, there's no line at self-checkout. I can't just scan this water and dip. And it was like, no, tow truck's coming right now. I was like, and in my head, I'm thinking like, by the time the tow truck get here, I want her to be gone. Um, but there was this black woman that was by me when it was all happening. She was like, yeah, they tripping, but like, it's not even worth it. Just go up there and just go somewhere else. So that's what I ended up doing. And I haven't been inside of a Walmart since.
So that's the thing that drove you away.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
So
That's the thing.
you was a happily loyal customer to Walmart.
I mean, it's always some, there's always some niggatry going on in Walmart, but like I'll be like, yeah, it is what it is. Like I'll go. And then like ever since then, I was just like, nah, I can't do it no more, man.
Yeah, when people say I'm gonna call the tow truck, you peel off right then. That's what I've learned.
No, I mean facts. I mean, I thank God I've never been told before, but like I was just so appalled. I was just like, is that really what y'all on right now? Like that's crazy.
That's messed up. Yes, it's black. We need backup. Over.
Yeah, man. Well, for all the listeners, this is the Ironic Podcast with your host Josh Cobb. I have another VIP guest with me today. Throwback. It's a throwback. It's been a while since I talked to you, Melo. I need you to just go ahead, give us a quick introduction, tell us what you're up to, where we can find you.
Dope. Yeah. My name's Melo, aka DJ Melo, aka Legendary Larry, aka Mr. Sunflower. I've just been out here DJing, trying to do different shows. I'm at Modest Brewery. It's a brewery by the Twin Stadium across from Soul Bowl. I DJ there every Friday now, and I got that gig. It's going pretty well. A lot of people show up. I need more Black people in there for sure. Yeah, that's the gig that I got going, and I'm doing different events, doing weddings. I just had a gig at the Poorhouse, bringing my gigs up and my name out there more. I'm also doing Legendary, which is my clothing brand as well. You can follow me. Well, my personal account is DJ underscore M3LO. And then you can follow my clothing brand, which is Legendary without the first E. So LGENDARY underscore.
Without the first E. Cool.
First E. We gotta differentiate ourselves.
Cool kids. Okay.
And that's going good. Just trying to work on different designs. We're trying to expand. We be in Arizona a lot, selling merch out there.
With my boy.
I'm trying to do it all. I'm trying to be like a Jamie Foxx, Gambino, like a box of all trades. Because there's a lot of things I want to do in life. Like the one thing I really want to do that I haven't started yet is write movies. I think that's
okay.
I really want to do.
Okay. The production side of I've never actually been on the production side of a movie before. I do want to be one day, but I imagine that is a different type of muscle, and I know movie sets are unrelenting. So
yeah, I've been told that like to write a movie, your imagination has to be like out of this world. Like you have to really.
Yeah. Have you ever held like a movie script?
I haven't.
They're because in the cinema world, for a script, 1 page equals 1 minute. Movies are longer, so you're gonna have like it's like 120 pages that you just hold in there. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But I mean, you got it though. If you got the imagination, you got it. I fully support.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, no, the DJing business, man. How's that been for you? I've been seeing you've been because I remember when you first started, it was like what, like 4 years ago?
Actually, I've been DJing since I was 15.
Since you were 15. Okay.
That's a decade. I'm 25 now. And I've been doing it kind of like more serious, probably like 4 years. Back then I was kind of doing like gigs here and there, wasn't like consistent thing, but about 4 years I took it a little bit more serious. And it's going good. Meeting new people. I think the best part about it is meeting different people and networking and seeing like all the different avenues I could do. And I'm trying to kind of be out of the box of just like a club DJ. Kind of want to be more of like a creative setting DJ, someone that
Right.
does like launch events or
Poetry
like
slams.
yeah, like poetry slams or like even like a Twins game, stuff like that.
Mm.
Because being up till 2 a.m. every weekend, it got to be old.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. DJ Melo. Okay. Well, I'm glad you reached out. So the reason why we're doing this pod outside of us reconnecting is you reached out to me on Instagram with a great message. You were telling me about how you like the pod, and you volunteered and you told me that we could talk about, or we should do an episode on emotions and being like suppressing emotions. Um, and that stuck out to me because I was like, oh no, we're definitely gonna do it. Like we're definitely gonna do a pod together. Because like one, that takes a lot of courage to even send that. You probably don't even feel that way, but for me, I was just on the receiving end of it. I saw it. I was like, oh, I was like, because I know for me, like it would be hard for me to send a message to that magnitude to somebody else.
Right.
So tell me, like, as a black man, like, why do you feel that you encounter life, you go through life, and you feel like you're emotionless? Like when you say that to people, what does that mean? Like, what are you trying to say?
Well, yeah, like when I say I'm emotionless, I would say like I'm not really expressing my emotions to a level that the average person would. Because humans have emotions,
For sure.
express it every day, and I feel like majority of the time I am like one motion, just like I'm chilling. I'm not really trying to be like angry or sad or nothing like that. I'm just like one emotion, um, and I don't know if that's like out of the household like I grew up in. Um, so I mean, I don't know if this is for all black men, but I feel like for me personally, I grew up in like a household where it was kind of more feminine to show a lot of emotion, and it was kind of like, oh, toughen up, like you a man. Um, so I feel like maybe it stemmed from that, or it's like don't be overly too emotional because you're the provider of a house. You need to basically always be the one in charge and always be like, you know, what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're I wish that wasn't the case, but a lot of us, the majority of us, are raised that way. You know, me, a lot of the same. Like that's why I always start off these podcasts with the same question. Like, when was the last time you felt this emotion? This emotion? Because really, like, we're only allowed to be either angry or happy. You know,
Right.
or maybe if someone like dies and you could maybe cry or express grief, but other than that, like, ain't none of that crying. Like
Right.
that's where
Like,
we're
oh, it's the
conditioned.
only time.
Right.
You get in a fight, you can't really, you can't cry after that.
Nah,
So
not
tough
at
it
all.
out.
So you talk about like where it stemmed from. Um, why do you feel like now, that you like, now that you're not a boy anymore? Like, why do you feel like you still have to keep suppressing your emotions or suppressing your reactions to your emotions?
I think it's like kind of just ingrained in me now. Like I don't I don't like it's I don't even know if being emotionless is wrong or right at this point. I think it's just kind of something that I just do and I'm so used to it. Um, like when people call me out on it, then I'm like, I didn't even know I was being emotionless. Like me saying that I'm being emotionless is not even like what I think, it's just what I hear.
Mm,
Um, and I feel like it's something I should work on. But at the same time, it's like I be thinking like, how could I benefit from this? Maybe it could benefit with relationships I have with people, or
yeah.
So I would say it's just something that I just do without even. It's kind of like a reflex.
So who you said you didn't know until people started pointing it out to you. Who do you like? How long ago? Who was like the first person that was like, "Hey, you probably like you're being closed off right now." Like, when did you start getting that feedback?
Um, it's kind of crazy because I feel like parts of my family that's not immediate family. Um, like I have cousins that tell me that. Um, Even my mom sometimes, which is kind of weird that I said like I was raised kind of in a household like that, but like sometimes my mom is like, oh, well, I feel like we don't really, express like enough, you know, enough till we could talk about it. And then I'm like, you're right, but it's like I can't really even like think of why it's like that because it's like I grew up in that house, but it's like, why are you saying that I don't express? Like, this is how you raised me, type shit. But I would say definitely immediate family that's like are outside of my immediate family, my mom, and also friends, because me and my friends talk about a lot of shit, and we can cuss on it,
Yeah, bro. I encourage
right?
it.
um, and we have a lot of deep conversations like about my history, about Black history.
Yeah.
Like when it goes down to that conversation, a lot of it does have to do with emotion and how we were taught about different things in school and also in our household. And then when people were talking, like I feel like I didn't have really much to say when it came to like Black history. It's kind of weird, but when they like talk a lot about that, I'm just like, man, I have no experience with that. Maybe it's because I wasn't experiencing that emotion
Yeah.
growing up or in school. And then they're like, yeah, you're kind of emotionless, so we expect you to not talk much about, you know, about like your history and all that. So I'll definitely say those avenues.
Okay. And so now, do you feel like that's something that you're actively working on, or do you feel like you're in a space now where that's the way you navigate the world?
Yeah, I would say I'm definitely trying to work on it. Um, I think being more open and being like to more emotions, you can probably have more relationships with people. Because I am a person that like to meet different people and like to have like a lot of friends and just like seeing different backgrounds and learning more from different people.
Yeah.
I feel like being more open can kind of make those relationships last longer. So yeah, I would definitely say that's something I'm trying to work on.
Yeah. For me, I was in the same boat for years. Um, I don't know if this is your story, but this is mine. Like, I felt like the only way for me to navigate the world in order for me to to get by was to not express emotions. And that was kind of my defense mechanism. So like anytime something would happen, I would make sure that I would put on a face, put on my armor to to look unbothered by something, right? So like we do this, especially like when we're kids, we're young. If there's a girl on the playground you shoot your shot with, she turn you down. You got to put that face on with the boys, or uh, somebody's, you and your boys is everybody's frying each other, everybody's getting on each other, and someone might have said something really good that got to you. You gotta put on that face, so just stuff like that. And I mean, it's those are like little stupid stuff when you're young, but when you're older, like that stuff there's more gravity to it, right? And like you said, it really has an impact on your relationships, just with everybody, like friends, family, strangers, romantic partners, and everything. For me, because they always say the best you should never ask a question you wouldn't answer yourself. So I would answer it
Right.
to myself. I would say I started hearing that um, from friends, because I was always the perfect person to have around, like when you want to kick it, when you want to, when you want to laugh, joke. But when it
Right.
came down to talk about like something real, uh, processing emotions, like I would just sit there and like, of course, I'd be a support system, but I couldn't really add to those conversations. Um, and I would sit with those sometimes. And I'd be like, man, like you and I'm really like reflective in that way. So I would sit there and be like, did I add to that like space? Did I add to that conversation? And a lot of times the answer would be no. Um, and then also like when you're in relationships with like your romantic relationships with women, there was a pattern for a while. Like women would tell me consistently, like, "Hey, you're not in a bad way. Like you're not like I don't think you're like hiding anything, but you're being really closed off right now." And it came out in different ways. Like sometimes it'd be like the way I would, like me just talking about my day, like, "Oh, you're fine." Like, no, tell me what happened at work. Like, what really happened, or like, um, yeah, it'd be stuff like that. And I realized that it was a pattern in my life, and I made sure I was just like, this was like 3, 4 years ago, and I was like, I got to start being more open in my conversations, being more open, and just the way I interact, and really like just shifting that mindset, like being vulnerable is there's strength in that. There's strength in um, telling your story and living within yourself. So I guess my question for you would be like getting to that moment or like being vulnerable. Like what is hard about that for you specifically?
Like basically showing emotion. What's hard
Yeah.
about um it might just be, I'd say like pride could be one of them. Maybe I have a lot of pride that I shouldn't, you know, be so big on. Um, that'd be one. And then also just like not knowing could be another reason. And I feel like it's kind of harder now to be like more like have conversations with people and be more open because social media is out. A lot of people don't really talk
For
anymore.
sure. For sure.
And then you'll see them like you don't even know what's wrong with someone. They'll be like, "Oh, yeah, my day's fine," and then they go repost a Justin LeBoy tweet, and then just like, "I thought you was fine. You over here,"
Yeah.
So I think that's harder now due to that because you can just express emotions on social media, and that's easier to just do that instead of have like a real conversation about it. Um, but yeah, I'd probably say pride is one of them.
Okay. So what is for you, what is your outlet? Like when you're feeling certain emotions, when you're feeling like you need to sit down and really process something, like how is your way of doing it? Like is it through your music? Is it through um writing? Like what does Bello typically do?
Yeah, a way I cope definitely music. Um, I definitely say music is a big one because I listen to music like 24/7,
Mm,
and I'm DJing constantly, so I add that into like music that I'm listening to, plus like my personal music that I also listen to. Um, I would say painting. Uh, actually, I think painting's like therapeutic in a way because it's like a way of just like it's kind of like painting your emotions,
for
uh,
sure.
honestly, and like what you're feeling. Shameless plug. You gotta paint
Okay.
my. um, but yeah, and it's funny like I use how music kind of like changes your mood and or it kind of like helps me change my mood in a way. Because there's been songs that I'll be listening to. Like you ever just hear a song and it's like really beautiful,
Yeah.
and you just start crying. I don't know if that's just me.
No, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
And it's like, damn, where is this emotion coming from? And it's just like maybe that's just like what music does for me. Kind of like a way to cope or to let my emotions out without even me even really trying. Yeah, I'll definitely say music is the big one. And that was a Benny the Butcher song, by the way. I was crying to. He's cold.
For me, I'm really big into well, I do two things now in my life. I mean, I've done things previously, but for what I do right now, one, I call them staff meetings. I talk to myself. I literally will. I'll be either in the car or in the shower, um, and I will literally just talk out something. I would literally process something in real time. So like if an event is happening, or like if I had a tough day at work or something, I would just be like, so what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? Like, and try to find like a solution or clarity or solace in that through that method. Another thing is writing. Like we were talking about at the beginning of the show, like being ashamed. Like one thing that stuck with me for a while was um, like 2 or 3 years ago. No, probably actually like 3 or 4 years ago. My grandma died, and my one of my childhood friends died like within the same year.
Okay.
And when my friend died, like I was like hurt. I was just like, dang, like this is someone like that we trapped it up and down university with. Like this is one of my boys. Like for all through high school, um, and even after that. And then when my grandma died, I didn't like. I was hurt, but I wasn't as hurt, And I felt guilty and ashamed about that because I was just like my own grandma. I don't feel as bad about as even though
Same.
I still feel bad,
That's happening.
but that grief that hit from my friend was tremendously different.
Right.
And I felt a lot of guilt with that. That sat with me for a while, and I was just like, dang, like, and I felt like kind of like I don't know if I felt like kind of like betraying, like I felt like I was like betraying my family in a little bit. And that took me a while to process. I had to do a lot of writing. I had to like really sit with that for a while. Um, had to have a few staff meetings. But yeah, no, it took a while to process that. But like obviously, in like I guess the main thing that I came back to was just like, hey, um, like obviously you have your blood family, but you have everybody has like core group that they know they can rely on. I think that's what he was for me. And yeah, I don't even know how I got to even telling that story. But
That
oh
same thing happened to me too.
yeah,
Um, it was my great grandma passed
mm,
away. I felt like I didn't show the emotion that I should have, but like I was still sad. But it's like I feel like I should have been more sad.
yeah.
So
And
it's
it's weird. It's weird how we torture ourselves like that too. It's like what? It's like what the hell? Like you over here comparing like how you should like. It's just like all right, and I guess I don't know. Maybe that's why some people feel like they got to fall out in churches or whatever just to.
Yeah,
Uh,
maybe. So would you say you're working on getting better at showing emotion as well?
for sure. Over the last couple of years, I remember I literally made a landmark with one of my friends, one of my homegirls.
Hmm.
Yeah, one thing that I was getting better at talking about my emotions, but I wasn't better at like physically expressing them. Um, so I told her I was like, from here on out, like when we talk, I'm gonna make sure I'm being like open and honest. And like part of that is even like expressing uh, like touching. Like for like when I was like really young, up until like recently, and even I'm still a little uncomfortable with it, but like just touching other people would be like kind of uncomfortable for me. So like let's like a platonic hug would be
Okay.
like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. Like you like in the movies when people are like hugging or something, they cut to their face and they're just sitting there like kind of uncomfortable. That was
Yeah.
like me all the time. So it's just like and that was something I had to really work through. So then just being mindful about stuff like that. So always trying to get better in that regard. But yeah, no, it's something I've definitely have grown a lot in. Um, if you had a conversation, this very conversation with me, like 18, 19-year-old Josh, it'd be a completely different conversation.
I mean, this is a big topic. I mean, you have a whole
Yeah,
podcast
true.
dedicated to it. So it's just, I think it's probably like a common thing that a lot of black men go through. So
Yeah. So what do you think is, because I mean, obviously we're two black men here that have had similar experiences in that regard. Like, what do you feel like is the way that that could change? Or what would you like to see done for the next generation of black boys that come through, um, that feel like they need to work through this?
I would definitely say more conversations um, with the younger generation, and that could be like more mature conversations with them. Because looking back as a kid, I really don't remember like a real conversation that really stuck with me about that or just about most things. Um, so I think communication is a real big thing. Um, I know the schools ain't gonna teach it, so definitely with your
Not at all.
with your kids, uh, sit down, just have like a conversation with them, and it could be weekly, monthly. Try and do something. I think that'll definitely help. Um, and also them being more open with you. I think the parents can be more open with their kids um, at an earlier age too.
For sure.
Let them know about the adult world early, so there's no like surprises or anything. I think that would be definitely help them.
So talk about what, obviously it's the podcast, it's centered around masculinity. Like, define, when you think of yourself as a man and the man you want to become and the man you are today, like, tell me, define that for me. Like, what is a man to you in your eyes?
Man is someone who provides, and that can be either for family, for himself. Um, so I think every man should know how to provide for at least yourself. So the provider is one. Um, Trying to think what else. That's a good question. Because that honestly, that's probably like the main thing that I truly believe that um, men are the only like beings besides like only humans that really don't get loved unconditionally. So you kind of have to like
Mm,
provide. Women are, children are, but men.
okay, talk about that. So you feel like as a man, you feel like your love from the world is conditional on the fact that you can provide whatever it is in that situation.
Right.
What do you feel like is the biggest thing now that we have this conversation? Now that we identified, like, kind of like the root and like how we navigate it, like, what do you feel like you're going to do moving forward? Or like, even if it's like something little, like, what do you feel like you're going to do moving forward to to help grow yourself? And yeah.
Um, Moving forward, definitely gonna, since I'm young, um,
We are young.
we are young. I have no kids.
It's a
uh,
blessing. That's a blessing.
Definitely gonna make sure I'm happy, focus on my happiness, um, my career. I feel like that falls into happiness. Um, because I know the whole emotion thing, like I was saying it, like it'll probably better relationships with other people. So it's kind of like saying I'm doing this to make other people happy, but I think working on that can also make myself happy as well because I can have these conversations with people like you or other friends or with romantic partners, family. I think that'll better conversation because I do like conversation, learning more. I think that can gain a lot of knowledge and learn a lot of lessons for future things. Um, so yeah, I think the big thing talking to you is definitely emotion, working on that and my happiness, being happy. Because that's what matters. I mean, money don't matter if you're not happy.
Right,
Material things don't matter if you're not happy.
for sure, for sure. Well, oh, before I let you go, we gotta have this conversation. So me, I feel like I'm getting a little, I'm missing the mark when it comes to music. Like I can't stay on top of it no more. I don't know what's going on. So tell me, like, what is, what are you listening to right now? Like, what are your like the whatever top three, top five artists that you're listening to right now? That's in your heavy rotation.
Dang. Let me look real quick. So I really listen to random stuff. You ever heard of Floetic?
Floetic. No, I'm not.
I was listening to them just randomly. They have an album called Floetry. It's like a
Oh,
sleep.
it's about poetry. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Floetry. Yeah, that's what I meant.
I
Yeah.
was about to say what?
I haven't
Poetry,
really
yeah,
listened
no.
to
They
them, but no, my top artists I've been listening to a lot of Benny the Butcher, um, Freddie Gibbs, JID,
I love JID.
Isaiah Rashad.
Okay.
Those are probably like my main ones.
I can't get into Freddie Gibbs. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
It's
With,
the
with the production,
it's a little bit of production. It's also the voice too. I delivery matters, man. I just can't get into it.
that's tough.
I
I
know.
feel like you would like him. I don't know. Because like he raps over like very old school
Yeah,
beats. Um, that's not like your normal. It's not the he raps over beats you wouldn't normally rap over.
yeah, no, and I appreciate that. It's just for me, like if the delivery ain't even there, like if I can't listen to like the delivery, I just can't. I can't do it. Like I love like you brought up JID. I think he has one of the top three flows in the game. Like
Yeah,
that man
his flow is crazy.
it's wild. Like the what song was that? He did a
It's like
song.
it's like schizophrenic. So you don't
Yeah,
like
it's
kind of
scrambled.
like the beat. Like it's like he raps first and then he picks a beat because the
Yeah,
beat follows the flow. It's weird.
it's yeah. He raps in scramble. Like I know, and I love that like abstract kind of rap style. I know No Name does it too,
Yeah.
and I love it. But yeah, no, it's gotta hit. What have I been listening? So actually I have not been listening to a lot of rap. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have been transitioning out of it. Um, I don't know. I probably would have to do a little bit more investigating on why that is.
Maybe I feel like rap is kind of like a young person thing because as I get older, I listen to a lot more R&B or a lot more oldies. Yeah.
I'm heavy in R&B right now. So right now I'm going through like a really big like D'Angelo phase. So that's
D'Angelo,
yeah, that's the first person I'm listening to when I wake up right now. Um,
top
uh,
tier.
yeah, it's top tier. It's top tier music right there. Her, Jasmine Sullivan, Sid, the internet's always great. Ari
Sir?
Lennox. I'm like, yeah, her.
I was saying sir.
Oh, sir. Oh, sir, for sure.
Yeah.
Sir and her. I'm dead. Yeah, no, sir's dope. I was who was I just telling this? I just told somebody the other day. I was like, Chasing Summer or something is an album that you have to periodically um you always have to go back and revisit it. Just straight through, it's just like, yeah, this man is something else.
That album is amazing. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, I'm gonna let you go. We can wrap it up. This is the Ironic Podcast. Again, this is Melo. Melo, tell them again where they can find you.
Find me on Instagram, Twitter, DJ_M3LO. Snapchat, M3LO_MAC.
Well,
you can find me at Modest Brewery on Fridays, 8 to 11.
What's crazy is every time I go to Sobo, I always see that bar over there. I didn't even know that you DJ'd over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like a new thing.
Okay.
They beers is nice. Like one beer can get you
get you sauced.
You might hit somebody in Walmart, you know. That's how good they be.
Oh my goodness. That's wild. I can't believe that. That's wild. And then you try to block your blessing by not even paying them the $20.
See, I was ashamed. I should have just paid it. He was trying to help me out. You should have just paid. He offered, at the first time it was 40, but I talked him down to 20.
Hey, you talked his ass down, G. What?
And I hit his car. Ain't that crazy? Yeah. That shit, yeah. I need my ass moved.
Yeah, bro, you shiesty. You shiesty for that.
You so shiesty, that's my dog.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, we'll be back at it again. Another episode pretty soon.